Okay, let's start with a question that might actually make you pause. Why would Mel Gibson, a director known for hyper-stylized, controversial biblical storytelling, suddenly abandon authenticity for accessibility in his sequel to The Passion of the Christ? If you remember, the 2004 film was infamous for its raw violence, yes, but also for being shot entirely in Aramaic, the language Jesus actually spoke. It was a bold choice that grounded the film in historical grit. But now, Gibson's confirming his two-part resurrection epic will be in plain, modern English. And honestly, this decision feels like a cinematic paradox. Let me unpack why. First, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. Mel Gibson doesn't do things quietly. His career has been a tightrope walk between artistic ambition and personal controversy. So when he says shifting to English was about making theology digestible for audiences, I get it, but I also wonder if this is a calculated move to avoid alienating viewers already overwhelmed by subtitles and existential despair. The original film's Aramaic dialogue forced audiences to confront the foreignness of this ancient story. Now, by translating it into English, is he simplifying the message, or diluting its power? Here's a thought. Maybe Gibson's worried that modern audiences can't handle complexity. And I mean that literally. If you've ever watched a film in a language you don't speak, you know subtitles demand active engagement. They slow you down. They make you work for the meaning. By removing that barrier, Gibson's essentially saying, let me spoon-feed you the divine. But isn't the struggle to understand part of the point? The Passion wasn't just a movie, it was a visceral experience. Will English make the resurrection feel more relatable, or just more Hollywood? Then there's the structural gamble. Two films, split non-linearly, with visual effects-heavy sequences of Christ battling demons in hell. Wait, demons? In a biblical epic? This isn't your Sunday school curriculum. Gibson's always blended historical drama with almost horror movie intensity. But here's what fascinates me, by framing the resurrection as a cosmic battle rather than a quiet miracle, he's leaning into the apocalyptic. This isn't just about salvation, it's about war in the spiritual realm. And if that sounds like Marvel meets the Book of Revelation, well, maybe that's the point. Gibson's never been subtle, but this feels like he's weaponizing spectacle to force audiences to grapple with theology they'd otherwise ignore. Let me zoom out for a second. Why does any of this matter? Because Gibson's not just making a movie, he's shaping how millions visualize one of Christianity's core events. By choosing English, he's prioritizing reach over rigor. By splitting the story into two parts, he's treating it like a franchise. And by injecting hellish VFX sequences, he's turning scripture into a sensory overload. Is this genius or hubris? Or both? The original Passion divided critics and audiences, some called it profound, others exploitative. But it was undeniably impactful. Now, with these new choices, Gibson's either crafting a modern parable or a $100 million sermon no one asked for. And honestly, I can't look away. So here's my closing question. When Hollywood tackles sacred stories, where's the line between reverence and reinvention? Gibson's clearly decided to blur it. Maybe that's the point. Because whether you love him or loathe him, you can't deny, the man knows how to make people talk. And in 2027, when Part 1 drops, we'll all find out if his vision of resurrection is divine, or just another director's ego rising from the dead. What do you think? Drop your take in the comments, no spoilers, but plenty of holy hot takes.